all good. We're talking about the lighting. We're setting up. The guests are going to be in here in a minute. It's Kelly's last night tonight. Do you want to face the camera? And she's been here for forever. I'm going to miss you. Thank you, hon. Student production. Everybody has to move on sooner or later, except some of us who are part of the furniture, although many people would like me to move on. Thank you for the coffee. Thank you for the letters. Here we go. First letter tonight. Now, apparently, the right answer to the question, does my bum look big in this, is yes, please. Kardashians have got something to do with that, I'm sure of it. Second letter tonight. I never thought I'd have to face the music, but I think DNA tests are about to sing me away. Ooh, she's done something wrong in the past. I know what that is. Oh, it's about the kids. You know what we're talking about now, don't you? Last letter tonight. Why should drug takers be able to plead temporary insanity and avoid the consequences of the law? Do they? Let's see what the panel have got to say. Don't go anywhere. Sweet and Sour right now with all the panellists coming up right now. My sister's on the show too. Yeah, you're going to meet her.
Got a problem, big or small, would a miracle be nice? Our motley crew is back, churning out advice. You might even laugh a bit in the following half hour. Park your backside on the couch, 'cause baby, it's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour. It's time for Sweet and Sour. It's time for...
I don't know. Welcome to Sweet and Sour. Kelly's done it again to us, hasn't she? Hello, everyone. Terrific to have you with us tonight. Gary Mitchell with you for the next half hour. Who's on tonight's panel? You met them last week. They're here again because we had such a good time. Hello, Slim.
Good to see you, Gary.
Tell us about Telethon.
Telethon is going to be a big one this year, I think. Even though the economy is really flat and things aren't great in the state of Western Australia, I do believe Western Australians will be extremely generous in hard times.
We are.
And we'll get over the line big time.
A lot of people in the eastern states don't know our telethon, but we have a reputation here in Western Australia for being the most generous amongst all Australians when it comes to giving for our kids. I'm sure all Australians.
It's the most successful charity in the world per capita.
Is it really?
100%.
Wow.
And the telecast itself is 25 hours straight live TV, and that is unique in the world as well.
Wow.
True story. Yeah.
Did you grow up watching Telethon, Suzie, huh?
Yeah, I actually
Welcome to
went
the show,
there.
huh?
Hello, I
Did
went
you?
there. Oh my God, I remember
How old were you
queuing
when you
up.
first went?
Oh, I must have been about 10 and
How much fun was that?
So much fun, loved it. And
Did you
we'd
do that
always
as a
go to
kid
our
as well,
nanas.
Slim?
No, but I used to stay up really late and try and catch
Oh, you did
Alexander.
a street?
Alexander
I
and the
remember
Great
that. Oh my God, and always fall asleep
And
and
I'd always
wake
turn the
up.
lights off at the most pivotal moment.
Peter Dean with the camera.
Yes.
I know, my sister remembers all of that too.
Hello.
I don't remember you staying up for Telethon. I always used to.
Well, you had more stamina than I did. But I remember one year we went to Telethon and we lost you, and you were only very little.
Yes.
And we called home to say,
I'd already walked
we've
home.
lost Gary, and he was already home.
I was 4 and I had to walk home.
I thought you were going to say he was ready than you.
How
He was
responsible were my siblings? I was 4 years old and they lost me.
He was broadcasting.
Not that I begrudge them after all these years. Any of that. How's Cocktail Revolution?
Cocktailrevolution.net.au. It's going gangbusters. Thank you.
Fantastic.
So,
Hello, Peter Katsambanis.
Hello, Gary Mitchell.
Your wife has given it to you off again?
I have permission to come here again. I don't know what you mean, but I have permission to come here again. I put in a special permission slip to be allowed to come to Sweet and Sour 2 weeks in a row. Unbelievable.
I'm pleased to have you here.
All right. It's always good to be here. Now, you can give me some subtitles and tell me what you mean.
All right, before we get into any more trouble, we're going on with the first letter. Have you read it?
Yes, I have.
And in a word?
I've done my homework.
Very good. All right.
But I don't want to steal your thunder. Why don't you read it?
All right, I shall.
I actually wanted to thank you for this one. This is good.
This is good?
This is a subject matter I could talk about for a while.
All right, Slim likes this one. Dear sweet people. What a lovely intro. What is it with this new fascination for big bums? I'm now 62 and throughout my life, to have a big bum was just the greatest liability. All the girls would share secrets about how to diet and focus on shrinking the lower posterior. My poor husband had his head bitten off so often whenever he gave me an honest answer to that dreaded question, does my bum look big in this? Well, now apparently the right answer to that question is yes, please. Look, I'm at a loss to understand such a reversal of attitude. You know, I even heard a young man last week offering a disparaging comment about a young woman's figure. She was very fit, lovely and shapely, with a small waist and an enviable small tight bottom. All he could say, however, was her bum's so small she doesn't look like a girl. I'm writing simply because my daughter and a friend of hers have been searching Google for the right surgeon. They want cheek implants to achieve a bigger bottom. I'm mortified. They keep pictures of Kim Kardashian and use her body as the example of bottomly perfection. What a great line. I spent my life trying to keep my bottom to what I thought was a slim, healthy proportion. Seriously, women can't win. Why are big bottoms all the rage? Are they healthy? Sally Ann of Scarborough, WA. Peter, bottomly perfection. What's your view of bottomly perfection?
Well, I'm someone who thinks that people should just enjoy their figure, their shape, the way they're made. I'm not exactly a small person myself. I don't think this is a new phenomenon, though. I remember, I think it was in the late 60s, early 70s, there were bands that brought out songs like Big Bottom Girls or Fat Bottom Girls.
Fat Bottom Girls make the world go round.
Yeah,
Queen.
there was... I think Queen had a song about that. I think certainly Spinal Tap did, and BTO, Backman Turner Overdrive. There you go. So I don't think it's a new phenomenon. I think it's horses for courses. Some people enjoy being larger. Some people enjoy being slimmer. The one thing I will say is that young people, males and females, have struggled with body image for a long time. So, and I thought we were over that, and we were trying to actually allow people to not get mentally distressed about their body shape, so let's not go back to those days, please.
Good advice. Stace, big bums.
Big bums. I love saying bums, bum, 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 bum. Sorry, Mum. We weren't allowed to say it when we were young, so bum, and big bums. So I think it's all about healthy body image for me. In Cocktail Revolution, we take photographs of people in the street, so long as they look nice and stylish and made an effort to present themselves to the world. And then we put them up as role models and our followers vote for their favourite style and fashion look. We don't care how big their bums are. So it makes no difference to us. It's all about healthy body image. And I'm a little bit worried that you're more concerned about the size of your daughter's bum than her having surgery. And I think if you're happy for your daughter to even consider surgery of any kind, just for cosmetic purposes, at presumably a very, very young age, I think the responsibility comes back to you because you haven't helped instill a healthy body image.
Is that the case, Suzie?
Well, look, I didn't have a big bum, but my daughter is a completely different build to me. She's very tall, she's broad like her dad, and she has quite a big bum, which has been very difficult here in Perth. She's never been fitting into the petite figure, but we travelled in the northern summer through Spain, and she's been in Italy. She's doing a gap year in Europe, and she goes, you know, Mum, this butt is great.
Yes,
everyone
butt
loves
is
it now.
great now.
And then
The
she lost a
butts
lot.
come
She
into
lost a
fashion
lot
again.
of weight, and she goes, can you believe this? My butt's going. After hating it for all these years, she's 18. The reality is people appreciate different things in different places, and I just think the Kardashians are mind-numbing, but if they have allowed women to be big-boned and a big woman and with a big butt, that's fantastic.
Slim, final word to a man. How appropriate.
Oh, listen, I've got anything wrong with big bums. I've got a big problem with man boobs, I'm telling you. Like, it's becoming insane the older I get, honestly.
Because it's a hormonal thing. It was in the paper recently.
I've got hormones?
Yes.
Really?
Apparently. No. It's apparently the whole mood thing. The whole mood thing.
I'm definitely going to be passing some of that on to my wife, you know, and probably help with the menopause. Anyway, I just don't see anything wrong with big butts. I think it should be encouraged for as has been mentioned with the other panellists. I mean, you've got to be proud of your body. It is the sum total of your life. It is basically your life map, so to speak. So what you choose to do with your journey in life is really up to you, and that includes your body image.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When we come
Love
back,
what you've got.
we're going to be talking about a lady who finds herself in a strange predicament. She thinks she's going to be given up by DNA tests. The husband's going to find out something. When we come back, more of Sweat Sound. See you soon.
Getting in touch with Sweet and Sour is easy. Just head to sweetandsour.net.au to send us a letter. And while you're there, why not check out our past episodes? Plus, don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And for a behind-the-scenes look at Sweet and Sour, check us out on Instagram.
And the movie we're sending you to this week for writing in your letters is The Girl on the Train. And you took that off the screen before I could actually mention it. Lucky I remembered it. There it is, right there, The Girl on the Train, straight into the next letter, Making Hay with DNA. Hi, Sweet and Sour panellists. Well, I never thought I'd have to face the music, but I think the DNA tests are about to sing me away. My hubby, who was adopted, is now very keen to follow up on DNA testing to find his true ethnic origins. But no issue there, but he's become so keen on all of this that now he wants to do similar to me. No issue there, except I know what he's like, and it's not going to be too long before he wants the kids to do the same, and that's where the problem comes in. I'm not sure if our second child is my husband's biological child. It was a turbulent patch back then, and my falling pregnant was the catalyst to bring us together. I simply never told him that I had a relationship with an old boyfriend over that rough patch. I don't know who the father of my second child is for certain. I just don't know what to do and whether I'm worrying for nothing. But my husband kept saying throughout his watching of the Olympics, all the drug cheats will be found out in time, no matter how long it takes, because the drug testing has got so good. Well, now I feel like the clock is ticking and the DNA test will flash out the truth soon too. Please, panellists, how do I manage this potential disaster? I can't think straight. It comes to us anonymously from Croydon Park in South Australia. Slim, first to you.
Well, obviously, you know, you're in the shit, really, aren't you? Just quietly. You're going to be found out. DNA testing is going to be pretty clear, and I don't really see how you're going to get out of this one, which sort of goes back to some of the previous letters that we've read here on Sweet and Sour. When you make a decision to be with someone for the rest of your life, then you better bloody stick to it, because unbelievable circumstances like this, progresses in science, is going to work against you.
Don't know anymore what
That's
comes
it.
up. Okay. Suzie, she's in trouble.
Well, I
Or is
just
she?
wonder. Look. There's a couple of things I've got to say. Is one, we don't know your name, anonymous, but one of the things I would suggest that you think about is, do you actually think your husband probably suspects but still loves that child, and he actually wants you to tell him the truth? That's one thing. If he's continually harassing, why is it that he wants you to get a DNA when you already know your heritage, you're not adopted? So I would suggest that maybe he's trying to flush out the truth in a natural way. But I would say that, that you have to, that's why you have to listen to what men say, I do.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yeah, I know, you have to listen to what men say. Because then
seriously.
you'll hear what they're really saying.
This is on tape. I want you to know this. It's going to be recorded. It's going to be put on YouTube, and this is going to last
Luckily, my partner
forever.
is not watching this. Anyway. But I would say just one thing. If you really want to take the stress out of your life, go online and look at DNA testing. You can actually test if your child is yours first up, because you might be stressing and it may not be a problem.
Oh, go and do it quietly.
Go and do it quietly. All you got to do is take a swab, take a bit of hair out. It's all the rules. You send it off. It's about $80.
Is that what you...
Good luck.
How do you know that?
Because I actually looked when I read the letter.
All 7 children, just in case.
No, my children are
Do
obvious.
we believe that?
She wrote the letter.
I did a bit of research. I wanted to know.
Is that what you do?
My ass.
Oh my God, is it the twins? They're not mine.
I think that's a great point, Suzie. You can do it quietly yourself, but I think a very strange household. On the one hand, DNA testing. On the other hand, a little bit of cheating or not. But I agree with Suzie. I think he already has a suspicion, and this is just leading to the inevitable. And
What's the inevitable? What happens?
you need
It's
to
gonna flush
disclose, or not, depending on what the private DNA.
I would get, especially, she might be stressing about this for nothing, and there's no reason to feel guilty,
This
and
could
he
be
just wants
sheer
to do dinner.
paranoia, really.
Yes,
Convenient.
exactly.
But
Convenient ethics.
it sounds to me like both parents are wondering who the middle kid looks like.
Oh,
I
come
think
on,
it's always
Pete.
the middle one. They always are weird.
Father of how many, Pete?
5.
5 kids!
I can tell you
Bit of an
that
expert
when
here.
I first read this letter, I had a thought in my mind. I thought maybe I'm wrong, but I'm sure I was right because both ladies seem to verify it. I think this guy suspects already.
Yes.
I think the whole true ethnic origins is a ruse, and you should have picked up. All the drug cheats will be found out in time. Just take out the drug, and I think he's talking
Supplant
to
it
you
with
directly.
DNA
That's what I'm
checks.
saying. Listen to what he's
my
saying.
advice, for what it's worth, fess up. Just go through the whole process, fess up. You've obviously been harbouring this. He's worried about it, and whatever the consequences occur, they occur because of your actions and your actions since
But
that
don't
time.
fess up unless you are sure, you know, like you have.
Oh,
you need to do the test
maybe,
first.
maybe not.
Don't fess up about the origins of the
When
kid.
we
That
come back,
later, fess up about
we're
the
going to be
starting
talking
religions.
about drug takers and whether they're avoiding the consequences of the law. Okay, bye now.
It's really easy. 80
There's nothing better than spending 30 minutes with Gary Mitchell. Have you spent 30 minutes with Gary Mitchell? I've spent 30 minutes with Gary Mitchell. Come on, spend 30 minutes with me and Gary Mitchell and some others in the hot tub that is sweet and sour.
It's time for Sweet and Sour. Right here on Sweet and Sour.
Welcome back to Sweet and Sour. We're all chatting here and we're going straight into the letter. Here we go. Hi, Mitch and guests. This one's called Do the Time, and Stacey's sitting there going, what are we on? Why should drug takers be able to plead temporary insanity and avoid the consequences of the law? Yes, you're first on this, Stace. They are assessed as needing psychological counselling, remanded to an institution for hospitalisation and released into the community when they are apparently rehabilitated. One of the reasons we send people to prison is to deter others from performing the same crime. Where is the deterrent against crime in this nation where temporary insanity is growing as the drug taker's defence and the consequences seem almost absent? I keep reading about so many attacks by both men and women who are drug-fuelled and completely out of their mind. It's a growing and nasty phenomenon. Why do we reward the law-breaking drug takers? Okay, I get the necessary rehab aspect, but they must subsequently be made to take responsibility for their actions and once off drugs, be made to serve a sentence commensurate with the crime they committed. I wish I could snap my fingers and rid the world of narcotics, but I can't. And the one thing of which I'm certain, we can't allow those who take drugs of their own volition to avoid the consequences of their actions. The world can't work well any other way. How else can we make these drug-taking criminals pay their debt to society? They must be held to account. Diane of Brunswick in Victoria. Stace, first up on that one.
Well, I think so long as they're caught, there are always consequences. And you mightn't like the consequences, but they do go through the criminal justice system, and the judges make their decisions based on the facts before them. I think rehabilitation is another issue entirely, and I think it's a far more complex and difficult topic than what you're conveying in this letter, Diane. My issue with drugs in our society is that we're stuck with them. The problem is, I think, that it needs a massive political will to really address the issue of the distribution of drugs. I think there's a real issue with organised crime, and we are probably directing our attentions to the people who are dealing at street level and who get involved in crime as a result of being on drugs.
Got to go to Pete.
Sorry.
That's
okay.
all right. Pete, why is this an issue now?
Look, Diane, this is always going to be an issue. You're making a few suppositions here that I'm not sure are true. You're assuming that everyone who pleads insanity, whether temporary or otherwise, has got there because of drugs. This issue is so complex. You've got to understand that mental illness is around, and sometimes people self-medicate with drugs rather than the other way around. The other issue that happens sometimes in our criminal justice system is those people who plead temporary insanity to some crimes, particularly lower level crimes, end up being incarcerated, not in a jail, but in a mental health facility for a lot longer than they would otherwise have been locked away if they'd been sentenced for that crime. Sometimes, for the crime they'd committed, they may not have even gone to jail, but because they've pleaded temporary insanity, they're locked away. I think this is so multifaceted. We do need to address the issue of why people are taking drugs in the first place. We've tried it for 50 or 60 years. We haven't got very far. We've tried all sorts of methods. Tougher criminal penalties. We've tried laxer criminal penalties. It hasn't worked. So we've got to keep trying, because I don't think we should give up. But blaming people who are actually victims isn't going to solve it.
Slim?
I've always been a firm believer, if you do the crime, you pay the time, and you should be responsible for your actions. Now, if that means that you've willingly taken drugs and want to behave in a, not such an antisocial behaviour, but in a violent behaviour as this letter is trying to make us sort of aware of, I think that's really unfortunate, because you did choose willingly to take drugs. You are behaving in such a bizarre way, a violent way, that you should be removed from the streets for the safety of people that are doing the right thing in society and not taking drugs and beating up on other people. So to me, this seems to be this forever a grey area that people are trying to find as an excuse for taking drugs. There isn't. I mean, basically, we all know that it's illegal to take drugs. We all know that drugs will affect you in a way that is not conducive to normal human behaviour. And I do feel that sometimes we need to be a bit more archaic with our views, a bit more hardcore about holding these values. Otherwise, what's going to happen is that this grey area will then consume us like an anarchy. It'll become like a cancer. Everybody will be searching for the reason why they should be taking drugs to improve their day, to improve the fact there's no hope, you know, their feelings for hope and faith in society.
Suzie?
Oh, so many things. I did read recently that the UN World Drug Report has stated that Australia tops the list of recreational drug users in the world.
Gold medal. Oh, is that right?
Yes.
We're it.
We're the top user of recreational drugs.
Amazing.
I know it is. Look, I think the thing is about penalties is, you know, there's the firing squad in Indonesia. People are still taking drugs. People still take drugs in Indonesia. People still take drugs to Indonesia. Idiots. I think when I look at my 3 older children, you know, I had a breathalyzer when they were younger, you know, so when they said they hadn't been drinking, I'd breathalyze them. I was the crazy parent. But they come home now and tell me, oh yeah, we're at a festival and there was someone doing drugs or whatever.
Did those kids ever fail one of those tests that you...
Yeah, one did. One's a bit of a naughty one. Anyway, but the point I'd like to say is that one of my a colleague, a very good person, his son continually taking serious drugs, continually getting caught. He said the do-gooders are saying, don't go to prison, don't go to prison. Eventually went to prison.
Guess what?
And is now saved.
We're going to give this letter the pair of limited edition Sunnies, courtesy of Alon Treves,
Yes.
because we've got to go. That's it.
Oh.
Right.
Slim, great to have you here.
Always a pleasure, Gary. But can I sit next to you next time?
Of
You always
course you can.
separate me with somebody. You're afraid I'm going to touch you, aren't you?
I thought you wanted to sit next to me.
They're going to escape together. Oh my goodness.
You want
Great
him.
to have you here. Hello, my sister. Goodbye, my sister.
Goodbye.
Wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
Pete,
Great
we'll
to
have you
be
back
here.
very shortly.
Sensational. Always
Great
great,
to have
be
you.
here.
Love
Thank
to your
you.
wife as well.
Yeah,
Who
definitely.
we want on the show very shortly again, but she's busy at night. She's busy during the day. She's a bit... Give her our love. Thank all of our wonderful panellists
Great,
for
Gary.
being here
Good panel.
tonight.
Thank you.
our terrific crew, and thanks for having us at home tonight, Australia. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
everyone.
Keep smiling and bye for now. Good show tonight. Thanks for watching.